Hey guys, themtgnoob jumped in a two-man. Will be on the. Pretty sure this is a keeper. So have all our land. We don't have a very strong hand. We have like subpar removal, which I'm not a huge fan of. In the tragic slip, but if we're playing against aggro, it's pretty good. If we're playing against control, this hand is pretty awful. Okay, so Godless Shrine comes down. Maybe we're playing against Esper. I honestly couldn't tell you. We hit another Blood Crypt, which is fine. I don't think taking the damage here is incorrect, but since we have to play a Nighthawk on next turn anyway, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and take two here. Now, if he is zombies, I'm going to be like, uh-oh, that's not great, but it is what it is. So we want to have 3 green sources and more red sources, so we'll get a Stomping Ground. Okay, so we pass. We've sped ahead on mana, but we really hope to just rip. So it does look like we're playing against, quite possibly, I guess, Esper control. This list is going to be a challenge for our deck. Oh, yep, reveal the one card that kicks us in the teeth really hard. Try not to be salty. Try not to be salty. Alright, we don't hit, which is unfortunate as we're really starting to flood out and feel it. I'm not too pleased with the way this is going, actually, since we're ready, I would say, a dog in this matchup, but more or less we are definitely a dog when we draw all lands in 3 draw steps. Okay, so he plays out a tapped Godless Shrine. Maybe he wants to put this on top. Another Nighthawk is there, but once again, we're just walking into problems when we play multiple threats. Detention Sphere comes to mind. In addition to Detention Sphere, the other card that comes to mind is a Sweeper. And that's problematic for us. We're flooding out really hard here. But we'll tough it out. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't want to give up just yet. See, maybe he's got a Think Twice, and like you might be thinking, well, why go in with this? He can kind of get you there. He's got a bunch of things and all sorts of shenanigans. Well, the thing is, I just more or less can't sit back. He can't block this, so that doesn't surprise me that he swings in. If he does have a Restoration Angel here, I'm not sad trading it out for this Nighthawk. Because he goes Resto Angel, he might block, he might not block. Looks like he's just taking it. Once again, though, he might have counter here, so I really don't want to give up this Olivia. I think I just go in with the Wolf Run again, which isn't a great strategy. I must admit it. But playing into an open board is pretty unsettling too. Especially since we know he's got Sphinx's Revelation, and that's unfortunate. But we'll see if he puts this on top. If he puts this on top, it's fine with me. I could do multiple things next turn. Looks like this is going on top. So maybe I shouldn't have tapped out there, since I more or less just time walked myself, essentially. So he puts that on top. I have to admit I don't have good play skill against the Esper matchup. I haven't played it too much yet, so it's all trial and error. But I agree that maybe getting myself time walk there was a pretty big mistake. Okay, so he's gonna beat in for 1. We pretty much know what we're doing, which is most likely trying to get this Nighthawk online. And seeing if he wants to counter it. I don't think he does. We can go and play another Nighthawk out, but that more or less leaves us to be blown out. I have to say, not having a very quick start against this deck is very problematic here. We almost have to go for this and just add more threats to the board, and then if we get swept, it sucks, but we get swept. But I don't like playing into the detention sphere at all. I think I'm going to allow this to happen. We're playing the long game against a deck that draws way more cards than us. And we're going to have to get lucky if he ever taps out. I think he's just going to be beating us in card advantage with all these think twices. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. So we'll see if he ever does throw down a big threat. But Sphinx's Revelation, it's a card. I think we're okay against him. Another Nighthawk. I think we're okay against him post board, but here we're not great. And we have to draw some of the cards in our deck that are good against control, and these are not them. Like Nighthawks are solely for aggro. Like, I'm going to let him get a 2-for-1 because I can't sit here anymore. I also didn't want to tap out and go full boat with the Wolf Run. We'll learn from my mistake there. I could have gotten an extra 2 damage, which might have been smart to do. He seems like a very competent Esper player, which is very intimidating on my end. You know, I'm just trying to homebrew this Jund list. I think we got it figured out, but I haven't had much experience against control, and I think it might be problematic. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Terminus. Okay, I like that since he more or less is tapped out. If I hit a Rakdos return here, that's going to be really exceptionally good. I like how he didn't attack as well, because I would have just snap blocked and gained 2 life. This doesn't accomplish what I want it to accomplish here, so I think I'm just going to cast Olivia. I would have liked that to be something, you know, maybe next turn when he plays something out. I can also extend with this Nighthawk here, but I'm not going to do that because he's shown us 1 sweeper. He may have Snapcaster Sweeper. This does ping and kill most stuff on his board, so this is a big threat, so he's got to handle this now. Maybe I should have played Nighthawk to play around Devour Flesh. That was minorly idiotic of me, but then I opened myself up for a 2-for-1. I'm actually going to scoop this game. I know you're like, oh, you should play it out, and you might win, and things of that nature. Let's maybe give it one more turn. I mean, we're not, you're right, we're not losing, but I honestly don't think we're winning or coming even close. We'll see. Maybe we get lucky and hit a big Rakdos return. He's got no more card draw, but I think he just taps out for Sphinx's Revelation here. Unless he's got another. Okay, so he's got the Snapcaster, and we're going to just kill his guy here since this is not very strong value in our hand currently. Okay, so I have to assume he's making us sack our dude. He's just totally dominating us, but you know, it happens. We haven't drawn exceptionally well. 3 Nighthawks and an Olivia have been our only big game this game, and a bunch of removals and, you know, a bonfire. Not great, not great. Alright, I have to go for this here. I'm pretty sure this just gets straight up countered. I can wait a turn and let him, but since it's sorcery, it's just like, it's very just not poopy here, and if he doesn't have one of his counters, this is going to keep us in the game. I'm pretty sure this just gets straight up counterspelled, but, you know, we got to go for it, and, oh man, it just hit? I might have sphinxed for something. Maybe he's just not playing counters. Maybe he just doesn't value his cards in a sense that he just can replace what just happened. So he's going to take a bunch, and now he's just going to refresh his hand, so to speak, as if he had some sort of internet browser on his hand, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna redo this. Let me just get a better hand. So he's up to 13 life and 6 cards. So I'm surprised this actually did work. That's pretty good for us. He hasn't drawn a Drown Yard, so we're not out of this game yet. I'm gonna just keep doing what I gotta do, which is sit here and be sad. Oh, sad noob. Sad noob. Sad. Sphinx's Revelations. You Sphinx's Revelation. I'm shaking my fist at you, Sphinx's Revelation. You make this matchup difficult. Oh god, that means he's got a Sphinx's Revelation for 100,000. Alright, well, Garruk's a thing. Can't complain about that. Go, go, Garruk. Don't have the counter spell. Don't you dissipate it. I mean, we have been pulling the cards that we need in this matchup over the last few draws. The good cards against control. This is an army in a can, but it's just a detention sphere away from it being dead. Okay, so we'll see if he goes big and draws a ton. I hope he plays a Resto Angel here and tries to get some damage in on this, but I think he just draws infinite. He is playing Planar Cleansing in his deck, I would assume. So that being the case, even Garruk is not amazing against him. He has drawn 18 more cards than us. just to put things in perspective of how good Sphinx's Revelation is, he's drawn 18 more cards than us, which is insane. I think he goes Planar Cleansing here if he has it. It looks like he's tapping multiple sources. If he doesn't hit a Drown Yard, which I find very odd that he hasn't hit one yet, I think we're good. Oh, okay, well, that might be problematic. I think he's going to start trying to mill us here. Okay, so he's like, screw this, I got to mill you. And he got, I'll just open this up to show you what he got. He got Amizium Mortars, an Abrupt Decay, a Baby Garruk, a bunch of lands, another Nighthawk, and a Thragtusk. Now, I have to assume at this point he has an answer to this, or else he would not have done it. And he chucks 2 lands. I think I'm going to draw cards off of Garruk here. I know that may seem somewhat loose. Oh, God, he's got the ultimate price. Alright, that sucks. Oh, Garruk, you. Look at me. It's like, I'm like, hey, Control, do you like winning? Sure. I mean, terrible. I don't think I could have done anything else about that, though, unfortunately. Just hope he doesn't Resto Angel here. You know, with 3 mana, because that's what cheaty faces do. Okay, we'll be doing this and trying to kill this Jace Memory Adept and hoping he doesn't have the Dissipate. Which, fingers crossed. The fingers are crossed. This is a game. I'm actually glad I didn't scoop this. Even if he counterspells here and he does mill me out, I'm pretty glad I didn't scoop this. I should have played. Okay, so he has the Dissipate. I probably should have played around the ultimate price there. But my logic was that he more or less most likely has an Azorius Charm for my beast, which is what I was thinking. Okay, so Augur of Bolas, we're tapped out. It's likely we don't win this game unless we miracle something. Did he hit anything? I think he just revealed a classic. I think he revealed another Dissipate. Alright, this party is more than over. We have no hasty dudes. We hit a woodland cemetery. I'm just going to concede here. I wanted to concede a while ago, but I felt that, you know, as a viewer, you probably would hate that. I know I would more or less hate that, I guess. But we'll see what happens. So we'll bring in the Rakdos Return. We'll bring in the Staff of Nim. We'll bring in the Hellkite and the Slimes and the Slaughter Games and the Witchbane Orbs. And the cages, although he does have some things like Snapcasters and stuff, we're going to take out a lot of our removal. So we're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. Victims can go. Bonfires are not amazing against him. So I think they could actually go. I don't want to leave no removal in, so I'm going to leave these abrupt decays because they hit some things, but I think 2 is probably better than just the 1. We need to cut 3 cards. We have a lot of mid-game stuff. Olivia doesn't seem good, and Nighthawks don't seem amazing, but Nighthawks trade out with Resto Angels, so I'd almost rather cut the Olivias, which may or may not be correct. When I think about it, it's like I kind of feel like, I don't know, he can pretty much remove this. He could Azorius Charm it. He has a lot of Devour Flesh, but this does play around ultimate price, but I'd rather have things. I almost don't even know if I want the Nighthawks, but I kind of feel like, you know, I think that his deck is going to be very counter friendly, and with no early pressure, we open him up. That being the case, do we want Bonfires over Nighthawks to deal with Planeswalkers and those last few points of damage, if that's the case? I mean, creatures can't enter the battlefield from graveyards. Player can't cast cards in graveyards or libraries. I don't know. It's either do we slow down the deck. What would you guys do? You want to play control versus control? That doesn't seem amazing, to be perfectly honest. Maybe we cut these and we just play 3 abrupt decays. I think this is a plan. I'd like to have your help investigate this plan. I cut the Nighthawks, the Olivias, the Mortars, the Victim of Nights, and the Tragic Slips, and I added Staff, 2 Slimes, Hellkite, Rakdos Return, Witchbane Orbs, Grafdigger's Cages, and we'll see how this goes. I mean, we slowed our deck down considerably. I think I keep this. A little bit slow, everything comes into play tapped. Our first play is this if we hit a land. But I think we're okay with that. I'm going to play the Rootbound Crag, since we took out the double black spells. He mulled to 6, by the way. Witchbane Orb is a good one. Alright, now all we need to do is hit 1 more land, please. 1 more land, please. That's all I want. 1 more. There we go. No need to play this here. Okay, so the question is, what do we want to get countered if he shows us double blue? He's going to be able to draw a ton of cards. That's not a thing. That's not something we're worried about. What I'd like to do is maybe play the Witchbane Orb, but I think I'd almost rather save it for when he shows us Drown Yard. I don't know what he boards into. I think he more or less is just going to go with this. And I think not applying pressure here is pretty loose, so I'm going to play the Huntmaster. Now, the thing about the Huntmaster is he does have a think twice flashback, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so we draw another Witchbane Orb, which is a little bit redundant. While he's tapped out, I'm going to be playing this Huntmaster. I think it does create a lot of value for us. And the cards that I don't want to get countered are this Rakdos Return, the Staff of Nim, and the Witchbane Orb I don't really care about. I mean, we put in 2. It's unfortunate that we're drawing both here, but it is, you know, it is a thing in case he does blow one up. We can always play the other one. Alright, so he's got nothing in his graveyard. He does show us Drown Yard here. Maybe he just wipes our board. Wow, he's got a Witchbane Orb. That's pretty shitty for us. I was not expecting him to have a Witchbane Orb. That actually is, like, really good against us. Like, really good against us. So, we have to more or less hit an Acidic Slime. The fact that we don't hit anything here is pretty annoying. I think I just play my own Witchbane Orb and encourage him to more or less deal with this, which I think he can. Flipping here does nothing anymore. It does turn this into a 4/4, which is a thing, but we just shut down his Drown Yard. But a lot of our cards in our deck now are useless, like this, and this is somewhat useless, and he is getting ahead on mana. I have no idea why he's doing that. I'm just going to bash in. Okay, so Snapcaster trade with Huntmaster. That makes sense. I probably should have seen that. But if he's doing that, that tells me he probably doesn't have a removal spell. The one thing I don't want to do is get blown out by a planar cleansing. But the thing is, I have replacement orbs, and I have other things. Like, the thing is, if he does hurt me by resetting the boards, then I Rakdos return his hand or slam a Staff of Nim, and that's pretty good against him. So I'm almost happy to be trading there. It kind of says like, all right, well, either he's really good on the slow roll and he's just going to wipe my board here, which is fine. Then I hopefully hit a land and slam a Staff of Nim. I think we're okay. Acidic Slime's very good against him. I feel like he can't beat us without this Drown Yard, and then he's got to sacrifice his own Witchbane Orb. So this might be Terminus off the top, which is fine. Okay, Sphinx for 3, which is fine. I mean, I am slightly worried about planar cleansing. That's like a real thing, a real concern of mine. Whereas if I play the Staff of Nim out to just try to get card advantage, he might more or less just kill me with a planar cleansing. He also may have drawn a sweeper here, so him sweeping is a bad thing, but I'm actually going to just go for this Staff of Nim. I think this is greedy of me, since planar cleansing just annihilates me. But I think Staff is a real card in this matchup against him. And us getting some card advantage is pretty good here. Okay, so he's tapping, which means he's probably planar cleansing. If not, I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, so Supreme Verdict, that's a thing. You know, I mean, it's a real card against us. It's unfortunate he has it, but what this Staff now is going to do is, although we can't target him, let's just make sure. Yep. We am going to be drawing cards off of this. We are going to be drawing cards off of this. And Army in a Can says go. Okay, the gate is fine. Like I said, it's really... He's not in a spot where he can't win, but we're in a spot where we can't lose currently. And we're drawing more cards per turn than him. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. God, I wish I could ping things. Pinging things is good. Okay. Big Garruk. Alright, so it's Big Garruk's turn. God, Staff is good. I believe this gets counterspelled. Oops. But we gotta slam it. Now, I can just be playing his game, which is just putting things into play. Now, I did make that mistake of trying to draw cards with Garruk last turn, so I don't think I do that again this turn. I think I just kind of sit here and play my game versus him. That's a Thragtusk. We will swing. Looks like he's taking it. And we'll play Thragtusk here. See if this gets countered. Does not get countered. Draw 3 cards. Okay, and we pass with a spicy grip of 8. I will be getting rid of this Blood Crypt since I don't want to take damage. Okay, so now at this point, if he planar cleansing, we put him in a spot where Rakdos Return just kills him, because he's going to wipe away everything. That's actually fine. fact that he has no blue mana there is pretty good since he can't do anything against us. And I think we just play the Wolf Run. He possibly has Ultimate Price, which makes me a little bit fearful here. But I slam this and then I get in 5 damage and make a dude. Yeah, he just scoops. Alright, so I did like that strategy better. Let's go a little bit slower through how I boarded. I took out the Olivias. I took out all the Nighthawks. I took out one of the Victim of Nights is in the board and 2 of the Mortars. So I took out all of this. And I added in 2 cages instead of slips. We kept the 2 drops the same, and then we just kind of went to 4 drops. So we added 2 Witchbane Orbs, which prevents him from getting us with Drown Yard. 3 Slaughter Games for Sphinx's Revelations. We left Baby Garrick in since it's an army in a can. 2 Acidic Slimes for his own, either Drown Yards or his own Witchbane Orbs. A Hellkite to go over the top. A Staff of Nim, which was very strong in my opinion. We couldn't target him and ping him, but drawing all those cards really put the game out of reach for him. And the Rakdos return. Now the only thing is, since he has Bonfire, I actually might cut, since he has Witchbane Orb, I might actually not want these Bonfires. It's very situational in where he might have a productive turn where he's playing the Witchbane Orb, but I'd almost rather have creatures that do things that are hard to deal with, because we can just 1-for-1 and be patient, versus, I mean, the bonfires eventually will get there, and maybe cutting them is incorrect, but I don't think playing any of this removal is good. Nighthawks don't seem to do enough. Olivia's, at least they're a machine gun. They steal his thing. I think I could see playing the Olivias over the Bonfires, especially if we don't have a way to deal with his Witchbane Orbs. So we're going to try that. Let me know what you would have done. Would you have kept the Bonfires in, since he's probably only playing 2 Witchbane Orbs, and these are most likely better than Olivia's? This has the potential to do more damage. It's a creature after a sweep. He does have ways to put it on top, etc. He might have Pithing Needle, with only 2 ways to really deal with artifacts. It's problematic, but if he does play Pithing Needle, we have Abrupt Decay, so that's always good. All right, so we are up 1-1. Well, we're not up. We're tied up, I should say. Unfortunately, this hand is god-awful. I wish this wasn't my hand, because this hand's terrible. Whenever you have double legendary creature, it's pretty sad. And then once again, this hand's really bad. And once again, we're going to be mulling to 4 and keeping and hoping to rip. I keep this. I wish this was a green source. His deck's slow enough where we could get there. You know, but we are going to need a green source. It's pretty problematic for us mulling the 4 against a control deck, as him having so much more card value is, you know, card draw, I should say, is difficult. I couldn't have kept any of those hands. I mean, maybe on the mull to 5 with a 1-lander, you keep that because it's 1 extra card, but I still feel this mull to 4 is pretty good. If this is Augur of Bolas, it's actually going to beat us. Oh, Duress, just take my 1 thing. That's fine. Now we're down a lot more cards. But maybe he's got nothing, and if his kill is Drown Yard, he is going to give us time. Alright, so he doesn't take the Garruk, which means he's probably got a way to deal with the Garruk. Or he's got another Duress, or he's got Snapcaster Duress. And if he's Duressing my Farseek, I think that's a better line. If this is Snapcaster Duress, we're in trouble. Doesn't appear to be. It's probably just Duress. Okay, so he's ripping our hand apart, and we're just sitting here, sad. Alright, so we hit a classic card that could have been a Bonfire, but in this case, Bonfire would have been awful too. I don't see how we get lucky and win this. Alright, this seems like Legacy, where he's just destroying our hand. I mean, that's pretty hard to beat when he goes duress you, duress you, duress you. Put a 2/2 in play. You're at 4 cards. I've just stripped 3 of them away. And he's trying to go big with this. Alright. Alright, we are cooking with gas now. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just got a hard counter spell for whatever we're going to do, but maybe he doesn't. He's stuck on 3. Oh, that's not a good draw for us. He's stuck on 3 lands too, which I would have kept Duress and Snapcaster. I'm not going to F6 here because I want him to think we have ways to remove this, even though we currently don't. Land, please? Yes. All right. The better play is Garruk here, but I'm almost certain that he's got a way to remove multiple things. So Olivia is possibly better, but we have 2 Garruks. So I'm actually going to go Garruk here and see what happens. I think he just counters it with a Dissipate. I think he's been setting up for that a long time. Or just a negate. Okay, that's unfortunate because I should have used my brain and played around negate as opposed to thinking he always has Dissipate, because he can't Dissipate this. Alright, we're taking some damage. Taking the damage. Good source. Alright, so that being said, I think we just go large here again. He can't Snapcaster Dissipate. So if this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen. Alright, so he does have the Dissipate, and he's still at 5 cards. So we've drawn out of this pretty well, I can't lie. But if we hit a 6 land, we could at least eat this. And he's just drawn 3 lands. I mean, that's unfortunate for him, but for us it's really good. Land, please. Alright, I think we get the Swag Tusk down. Swaggle Rock. We've been drawing pretty well. Now we have an answer for this, which is always good. Don't hit land, don't hit land, don't hit land, don't hit land, don't hit land. Let us turn the tide. Ah, he hits land. That means he's got Resto Angel. Alright, well, we're going to bash. Okay, yep, play your Resto Angel. Interesting. You think he's got Rewind? Why does he play that untapped there? Why does he play that untapped there? I'm going to pause and think about this. There's almost no reason for him to play his Hallowed Fountain untapped unless he doesn't have Rewind. I think I'm going to pass. Because if he had Resto Angel there, he would have probably played it and gotten value maybe next turn. And if he plays it here, that's fine. Sphinx for 1. Okay. That makes sense. I think I had to play around a Rewind there. I could have been wrong, but I'm still technically winning on board. So we'll see what he does about this. He might put this on top. Okay. Alright, I don't really like leaving the beast exposed here to like a Snapcaster and that. I think this forces him to play a hard removal spell on this or a board sweep, and if he does, we're left with a 3/3, which isn't great. I think he's just sweeping us here, which is fine. We're still left with a 3/3. Okay, and beat in for 3. Force him to play with Huntmaster for a little. Play with that Huntmaster, my man. The reason I do this is because it's going to be hard for him to have another sweeper. It also protects us better. And if he does have another sweeper here, he has another sweeper. It looks like he does, which is unfortunate for us. And I'm pretty sure he could deal with this easy. I think we have to almost play the Olivia here. What do we need most? I think we have everything. We want to get a red source for the Olivia. I mean, we're making it a game. Unfortunately, he's got 6 cards. 7 cards. So, although it's a game, we're just playing off the top. Like, completely off the top. And, with the mull to 4 in mind, the fact that we mulled to 4 and lost 3 of our first 4 cards, essentially, is just pretty exceptional. I'm going to just keep playing land since I have Rakdos Returns. This is a spell that's decent here, but not amazing. I would have much rather liked a creature. Him drawing into lands is not great for us. Okay, we're just going to keep playing since we have big Rakdos Returns. I find it almost ridiculous that he doesn't have anything here with no lands. Come on. Get there. Get there. Maybe we should have held it. I don't know. I mean, I hope this isn't Jace here. Jace is going to kill us. Oh, Obsidat. Oh, crap. That's a thing. That's actually problematic. So he's been sitting on Obsidat. I guess that's very good against us. I think he might turn the tide this game. Like, there's no way for us to really just beat that. And hitting runner land is not going to do it. I think that turned the tide, that Obsidat. I mean, especially if he's got protection for it, taking 8 a turn is really not great. I think we did everything we could do here. Maybe I overextended slightly. I felt like putting him on having multiple sweepers was a thing. All right. Yeah, he's just, once he hit that 5th land, it was all just go. Like, all right, go. Like, now we're going to be winning this one. He's got multiple things. All right, well, this does trade with Obsidat, but I just think he flies in through the air and doesn't quite do anything else. I almost want to play the land, but I think I'll just play it next turn. That's probably the best draw we could have there. Unfortunately, any removal spell makes this a 3/3, which is almost not going to be able to handle this. And the fact that he's just draining all this life is just really yucky. Okay, so he's trying to mill us. He milled a Farseek and a Woodland Cemetery. Okay, so he just is going to play the slow grindy one, which is definitely good. Okay, so see what he does here. Duress, sure. He's got a Duress there, and I've got a hold land. I mean, there's not much we can do about that. All right, come on, something good. Rakdos Return. Slaughter Games, you are so late. Oh man, we could name Obsidat, but it doesn't do anything. I think we got to attack Jace, but he may make us sack a creature because Jace isn't really the problem here. But he's just beating us in the air. What do we think? What do we think? Put Jace to 1. Doesn't really do much. I think we got to deter him from swinging with the Obsidat. Search. Target opponent's graveyard, library, and hand. Yuck. This party's almost over, I would have to say. We'll name you. I mean, we do have potential to draw an Abrupt Decay. Yeah, he's almost, like, he probably should Sphinx's Return here if he has it for 1 card, for 2 cards, excuse me. It's not great, but it's better than what it can be. Man, if we could only exile Obsidat from here, that would be sweet. Okay. I mean, we just got off to a bad start, and I thought we might make a comeback, but unfortunately, not so much. Alright, Sphinx's Revelation. I called it Sphinx's Return because I'm a dummy. Okay, we got this one. Oh, all the answers. Yeah, we're dead. We are so dead. All the answers. Let's get rid of these because the ones in the graveyard aren't really doing much. Alright, so he's got Land Angel, Tension Sphere, and he's got Counterspell. I'm going to scoop this up, not waste anybody else's time. If he plays, maybe he plays Angel here for some odd reason, and we get lucky and we just more or less do things like that. I think he like if he misplays this, which I don't think he's going to. Like let's say he taps out to Tension Sphere this, or plays a large Angel, and we go to Rakdos Returnum. Then we're in it, but I think he can really, we're tapped out here, so he can really more or less just Tension Sphere this and then hold up Dissipate. But, you know, he's just playing it cautiously, which I don't actually mind at all. I think that's a fine line by him. He's a good opponent. I can't hate on him. You know, give him the GG. Sucks to lose, but, you know, is what it is. But I hope you enjoyed. And I'm very open to critiques. Even if I don't respond to your comments, it's because I'm very, very busy, and I apologize for that. But I do always read comments, and I try to respond as often as I can. So if you want to leave me some feedback on this match or the deck, let me know. And thanks for watching, and please check out themtgnoob.com.